Hey, hello everyone. Welcome back to the stream. Um, super tired today, so I won't be talking a lot. But the weather is really good between Hyderabad and Chennai. So we are flying our home country today, and we are flying in the Indigo VT IHP livery, which obviously looks great. And yeah, it's pure IFR weather. In fact, in Chennai, it's going to be quite low visibility. The cloud cover is really good. We'll have some really good scene out of Hyderabad, and we will also have some nice landing visuals at Chennai. Look at that. By the way, I'm also running 200 LOD today, and I know it may not be very obvious because of the cloud cover and stuff, but know that I am on 200 LOD today. I just wanted to try it out. It does make a big difference in terms of like how far the autogen and textures load up. So yeah, I may not see a difference today because of the visibility and stuff, but I'm loving it. And going from 100 to 200 visually, it's a great change, but I'm not getting as much of a hit on the frame rates. You see, we are still doing pretty smooth, and if I go to the cockpit and pan around, we are still around 50 60 fps or so. In fact, I think we are at 70 or 80 fps in India, so that is amazing. And I'm going to stick to the 200 LOD setting here. So yeah, let's get prepping on this flight. Let's start loading up our OFP. I already have the OFP loaded up on so I already have the flight planned on SimBrief. We have about 28 minutes before we can get out of here. Let's quickly check the report. 040 at 5 knots. We are probably taking off from, I think, is it 09, right? Sure. And altimeter is 3000. Scattered 150, scattered 100, temperature 23. So different from what we are used to flying every day in single digits. But yeah, I think we have enough information. Let's get batteries on. Again, I may not talk a lot today, super tired, but if you have any questions in chat. Batteries on, external power on. Let's look up the aircraft. Surprisingly, the frame rates are really good even at 200 terrain LOD, so I'm going to just stick to it. I'm loving it. 135 passengers, we'll have 5.1 block fuel. Okay, let's load the aircraft. We'll do the fast loading. Let me quickly check the callouts and stuff. We do need all the callouts, and we also need the EFI Sparrow setting linked. Right, saved it. Our altimeter is 3000, so oh well, and here as well. Okay, so while that looks beautiful, Rahul says, yep, let's look at it from the outside. I think you missed that part. I'll show you. Can't really see much changing from 100 to 200 because of the weather, but I can assure you it looks really crisp if these clouds were, or if this fog was not there. Alright, let's start our overhead panel work. Nav, wait for the on-bat light to come in and extinguish. IR2 to nav, and then R3. Okay, probe lights can come on, nav lights can come on. No smoking lights can go to auto, and emergency lights can come on. All the fuel pumps can come on, and cargo heat will make it a little bit warmer. That is it. Let's pull up the OFP here. Rahul is asking, can you do a comparison of 100 versus 200 versus 300 while IRS aligned? Yeah, I can do that. So the thing is, we'll have to clean up the weather, otherwise there's not much you can see. Let me do that real quick. We'll have to go to weather, up. This is 200. Okay. Now let's change it to 300. Is definitely frame hitting. Will for my frame. That is 300. So you'll see that these buildings here were not popping up when we were at 200. These far ones, but they are now popping up. I don't know if you see it on there or not. They are now popping up. And then if I reduce it to 100, you might see a different, bigger difference. Okay, now you see that's 100. So here, like right from this line itself, you'll see that there's no autogen and the texture is blurred out, right? So I would say this is the 100 line, this is kind of the 200 line somewhere here, and this is the 300 line somewhere here. So if you have it at 200, I believe, and if you're flying at about 5,000 6,000 feet, you'll see pretty much up to the horizon. And after that, even if the texture is a little bit blurry, you won't really notice that, because there's enough detail before that texture, and it's not like this, right, where you're setting it to 100 and you're right away seeing the blurry ground. But yeah, it's a big frame heater for obviously lower end CPUs. I think I lost about if I'm not wrong, I lost about 5 frames or so. Rahul says 200 is great for VFR and GA airplanes. Like, yeah. Actually, 100 is also not. 100 is not bad for IFR at all. But VFR, yes, I agree. Like if you're flying in New York or somewhere, and you want to see that skyline appear slowly, then yes, 200 will look amazing there. Or let's say somewhere like we were flying yesterday, the Seattle-Portland flight, 200 would look amazing in that, because you can actually see the trees up until the horizon. Especially works well on mountainy terrain. If it's a flat terrain like Denver or something, it doesn't look as good. Even 200 will not be enough, but in most cases 200 is good. Okay, let's start prepping our FMC. The OC menu, let's initialize the flight. I hope the units are in kg for this livery. Not sure. Data. call sign is IGO7461 and cost index, let's check here, 9. Okay, flight level was 370 and let's upload the wind data. Hopefully the landing goes well here. Again, 23 degrees on the ground temp, so init is done. We can come back to flight plan. Oh, there's only one waypoint. Boarding is complete as well. Great. There's only one waypoint. Yeah, there's only one waypoint. So 09 right and then to POPRI7. Okay, 09 right, 7. There's no transition, so it just goes directly to the waypoint, and then our arrival will be RUPKU into runway 30. Oh, sorry. Okay. Just tired. Oh, it's a VOR. Let's do the RNAV Y30 and then star will be transition will be OP, right? Right. Check for discontinuities if there are any. Nope, there are none. We are good. RadNav automatically tuned. We can go to the init B page and fill that out now. Okay, everything is loaded, matching the planned fuel here. So trying to figure out how to enter this now. So do we enter, I think we do 56.9, right? Since it's in 56.9 and then max ZFW percentage is 30.1. Block fuel we're carrying is 5.1. That is good. It should calculate all of that for us. There we go. Trip wind, not really sure. I'm just going to leave that aside. So data, init A is done, flight plan is done, RadNav is done, init B is done, fuel predictions that will fill up automatically. Secondary flight plan, we'll just copy the active flight plan, and now we directly go to our performance page. Before that, let's set the altitude here. So it's going to be 370, and let's calculate our performance, departure performance from here. Right, 09 right, runway is dry, there's no rains. Let's sync the load sheet. Forced TOGA, yes, we will be doing forced TOGA. There's no need for anti-ISIS. Packs will be on and live weather is synced. We calculate it now. So it's 121, 130, 131, 121, 130, and what was it? 131. Okay, 131. Usually the VR and V2 are same, but today we have 1 nautical mile different, 1 knot different. Flaps going to be 2 and no trim at all, so flaps will be 2, and then just for completeness 0.0 down. Alright, we are not flexing the takeoff. Our engine out, acceleration altitude and thrust reduction altitude are same, 2970. 2970 here and 2970, 2970 here. Okay, we have the takeoff performance in. We can switch to the flight plan page here, and we can switch to the ATSU stuff here because we might see some messages coming in regarding the load sheet. There you go. Accept that load sheet and return. Okay. Passengers have loaded in, so let's check if all the doors and everything is closed. Let's go ahead and start the APUs. I'll turn on the beacon lights, APU master switch on, wait for 3 seconds and start the APU. Okay, that should bring up our APU. Let's watch it from the outside actually. Beautiful sounds. Hope you hear that. Love how stereo the sounds are. You can actually feel it traveling if you have good headphones. Beautiful. I want to actually toggle jetways so that we have got rid of that. Will it go or not? Yeah, that will. Okay, it went. Okay, APU is on. It's been a little bit, so we can turn the APU bleed on, and then we can disconnect the external power. And now that we have disconnected external power, we can remove the chokes and GPU from here. We can connect the toggle. So we are almost ready to taxi. I'll turn on constraints on both sides, and we'll have to backtrack 9 left and then turn left onto the 09 right, basically. We'll do that. Before that, let's quickly run through the before start checklist so that we are not missing anything. To make sure, cockpit prep is done, baro ref is set, ACARS has been initialized, parking brakes are set for now, fuel on board 5.1 on block fuel, NHB is loaded, flex temps, we are not doing a flex takeoff speeds 121, 131 verified. Passenger signs, yep, that's what we missed. Seatbelt signs can now come on. Passenger signs are good, beacon lights are on, transponder is set to auto, and all doors are closed. We have verified that here. Slides are armed as well. Alright. Time to push back. I'll release the parking brake and start our pushback. Meanwhile, we can also start the engine, starting from engine 2. Let's get out and actually listen. I have the Xbox controller, and when you go into the wake, you can actually feel the vibrations on the controller. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm gonna try doing the turn this time. I want to see if it does a good job at that or not. It does, yeah. Turns exactly 90 degrees. So I'll be positioned pretty well on the taxiway. Actually, you shouldn't push back on the taxiway. I believe this white line, like between the white line and the taxiway line, is where you stop. But I think for today it's fine. Okay, switch back to straight here, and then hit stop. We don't want to taxi too far back. I think engine 2 is on. Yes, it is. Temperatures are a little high. Is my throttle good? It is. Okay. Our engine is producing a lot more exhaust gas temperatures than normal, because I've seen somewhere in the range of 400 something. We are at 500 something. So a little bit weird. Let's verify if our packs and everything. Gen 2 is on. So engine is on and healthy, I guess. Let's just start engine 1 then. It's got me a little bit worried. Maybe it's because of the air density and the temperature outside that it's... We'll have to check it offline. Engine 2 is starting up now. Oh, sorry, 1. And for some reason this just keeps pushing me back. I don't know why. I told it to stop, but it just won't stop. That's okay. Did we get rid of it now? If we did. Alright. Nice. Okay, got rid of that, and what we can do now is just go to our after start checklist. For that, let's set everything up as required. Taxi lights will come on, runway turn off lights will come on, and APU bleed can come off, and APU master switch can turn off. Flaps is 2, by the way, for today. We'll lock the cockpit door, reset the trims. We can go to TARA on the transponder, and that should be it. And also set the parking brakes, auto brakes to max, not parking brakes. Let's see if this is yep. Okay, after start checklist, ground equipment has been removed, anti-ice we are not using it, flaps set to 2, APU is off, yellow electric pump is off, trim is set to 0, we don't need it today, cabin doors are armed, and ECAM status all greens, no blues. Okay, now we can go ahead, taxi to the holding point of 19 right. We'll go from there. Again, the EGTs are a little bit higher than usual, but we'll just have to see how it goes. I'm not entirely sure if... I mean, it's definitely not within the unsafe range, but I'm just not entirely sure if... why it's 100 degrees higher. Meanwhile, we can also do the TOGA test, takeoff config test. That is normal. Weather radar we'll turn on at the holding point. We don't need to turn it on right. Anyways, you're not using it. We will have to backtrack 19 left and then go to 19 right. There's no traffic, so good. Hopefully we can land this well today. It's been a struggle trying to get the Phoenix to land properly. Always feel like we're coming in too fast, and then when I pull up a little bit, it just floats. I don't know what it is. I cannot get it. Let's just meanwhile we can also do on so that we get rid of that error. And what else? Turn the takeoff lights on. Pretty much ready. Just need to do flight control check. Go. Let's taxi a little bit faster. It's going to be the RNAV arrival at Chennai. It'll be a fun approach. We'll fly it manually. After we have the runway in visual, of course. Right, that's 01 right, 09 right coming up. I think we are pretty good. Flight controls check, let's just quickly do it. Yeah, we are good. We can just go ahead and do a rolling takeoff. Or just run through the checklist. Let's just run through the checklist. Let's follow the process. Stop here for a bit and run through the checklist and get out of here. Before takeoff checklist, flight controls are checked, TKS is set to TARA, departure brief, we have done that, takeoff data and FMA is all set, good to go, flaps are as config, ECAM no blue, takeoff runway is verified, strobes are on, packs are on as required. Okay. Let's go. Takes quite a bit of thrust to get it going. We'll just do a rolling takeoff. I'll try to get wing views before we also want to hand fly, but then I also want to not miss out on the wing views. Let's see. Whoa, look at the fog. You barely see the end of the runway. Right. Manual toga or throttle arm, MHz runway. 60 knots. Knots. V1 and we rotate. First plate gear up. Look at that view. Cloudy, so nothing much there. Okay, on the left side looks great. Okay, throttle lever to climb, and we can also get rid of the ground spoilers. We can change flaps to 1. Turn off the landing lights, don't need that anymore. And yeah, that's all. Once we cross the S speed, we'll clean up the aircraft. Look at that. Let's make sure we have an actual top of cruise, huh? Okay, we can get rid of flaps, and I'm going to push it to open climb because it was showing that there was no top of cruise. Let me actually change. Yeah, so if we follow all of these restrictions, there's going to be no top of cruise, considering that we are going up to 37,000 feet. So I'll just push it to open climb, assume that the ATC has directly cleared us to 370. Then we should be good. Yeah, that fog layer still exists. I wish they made a better transition in visibilities from one city to another, like one meta to another. Unfortunately, the whole fog layer still exists. As soon as you get out of that area, you'll see this border of fog. See that? But at least you cannot see the ground clearly below that. Before, like on P3D, used to be that way, where you can see the ground clearly, and then suddenly when you cross that fog layer, you don't see anything at all. So at least it's not that. Okay, we are at transition altitude, so our altimeters will go to standard. Gotta remember that our transition altitude is not 18,000 here, it's 7,000. Bit of a change from our usual North American flights. Looks great. Let's watch from the wing views a little bit. I don't think India has gotten an overhaul in terms of scenery, as far as I know. This is all like whatever the base. The whole Asia is still awaiting a scenery thing, right? It's just like North America got like 3 updates. Asia hasn't got as many updates. Or not a single one actually. I don't remember having any Asia updates. The photogrammetry and stuff. It still looks good. Not bad at all. Just not as good as North America looks. I'm a little surprised because the weather was showing that it's going to be really cloudy throughout the way, throughout our flight. I'm not sure how it suddenly cleaned up. Weird. Still at 18,000. We don't really have to do much. I'm going to turn off the seatbelt signs as well, and we'll keep it on this view, and I'll be back. Hey, Fago is in chat. What's up? What I was telling you is, if you open up the task manager, what is the clock speed that you see here for your CPU is what I was asking you. Is it 4.15? Because 3700X is supposed to run at 4.15. If it is, then I don't know what the problem is on your specific CPU. If it is not, and if it's something like 3 point something, 3.2, 3.4, then you might have to update your BIOS. But that's all I know. I don't know anything more than that. It's at 4.19, okay. So yeah, then I'm not sure what is holding your CPU back in performance. Because your CPU is operating as it should, GPU doesn't have any issues, so I don't know what is taking the performance down. Any other ideas? No. That's all I usually check. When I was getting bad performance, I used to check the task manager, and that's all, yeah. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Tomorrow onwards, I'm probably going to do longer flights and then work or study while it's on cruise. I'll probably name them as like silent stream, study with me or something like that, so that if anyone wants company of white noise, it's actually fun working and studying when it's cruising. Like you have a definite time that you can commit to. But yeah, it's Thanksgiving week. I have a deliverable on Monday or Tuesday, so I'll have to work, if not all weekend, at least a little bit. We'll see how it goes. What does the boring pilot do? Exactly that. Almost at cruise. Meanwhile, let's enter our destination data that we are ready. I'll go to performance, next phase, and let's start entering stuff here. Arrival going to be, wait, what? 1010. Did I mess up the QNH on? I might have. Temperatures are 28 degrees, pretty warm. 250 at 12 knots, 250 at 12, and transition altitude is 4000 there. Okay, and we are going to go with full flaps landing. And what is our baro minimums for this approach? Let's check. Port the route, VOMM approach, and RNP 07, right? Always forget. 30. That's what it is. Runway 30 is where we are landing. RNPY runway 30. Okay, I'll have to review my plan and see where we are coming in from. First of all, what is our last waypoint here? MM 416, 415, 416, 512. Okay, let's see where it starts from. So 415, 512, so we are joining here. Okay, 512, 415, 416. Now we coming in from 418. Then no, we're coming in from 504. That's nowhere here, so that'll be somewhere on our RUPUK route to start. Anyways, 2002, so I'll have to set the altitude to 2100. Once we reach cruising altitude, we'll do that. But we were here to check the minimums. This LNAV, VNAV equipped aircraft, so we are going to go up to 400 feet on minimums. So enter there. Yeah, 400 feet. Okay, we approach, it says 134 right now, but we'll calculate that and put it in later. Almost there on our cruising point, top of cruise point. So MM416 is where we start descending, and then this is a -3-degree glide slope. -2.8-degree glide slope onto the runway. Nice. This will be a fun approach. Review if there's anything else important. If in case there is a missed approach, we climb straight ahead, proceed to M417, which is already planned, and then go to 418, turn right, 512, and then try again. This is our missed approach procedure. Very easy. What is the missed approach altitude though? 2300 probably, right? Because that's what we need to be at here. Yeah, 2300 will be our missed approach altitude. Transition altitude is verified, 4000. Weird how it's 7000 in Hyderabad but 4000 here. Really weird. What else? Course is 299, that is good. Yeah, I think we are good. That's all we needed to verify. Okay, now we have settled in at cruise. Be on this performance page so that we know how far our top of descent point is. But what I can go ahead and do right now is just change my altitude here to 2100, and then once we are closer to this closer to the white dot, we'll just push the button so that we can get on the planned descent. Is 73 nautical miles away, so quite a way to 54 to go still. I've heard that the whole Chennai approach in the city looks really dense and great. I'm excited to see that. It'll be fun. Look at that cloud cover here, this part here. Looks so realistic. Let's go to the wing view and check it out. Not much going on. What about this? Yeah, this looks great. But currently this is the money view. This looks really good. Still 47 miles out. So I was doing multiple circuits yesterday at Seattle, and I think I've gotten a hang of landing the A320. The problem with this is, I don't know if I can explain it, but you see how the aircraft is actually pitched up, but when you look at it from your from the captain's seat, it looks like it is pitched straight. The same way on the descent, it looks like you are pitched way down, but that's not the case. You are actually pitched way up, like a 5 degrees, 10 degrees something. Oh well, not 10, but somewhere around 2 to 5 degrees. And that confuses me during the flare, and I usually flare too much, thinking that, oh, the aircraft is still descending, but it's not actually, because it's just that view that looks weird. So I don't know if I need to change the view, like maybe adjust the height or something. I have downloaded the cameras.cfg from EasyJet SimPilot. Maybe in tomorrow's flight we'll try that. I forgot to actually copy it before starting this flight. But yeah, that's one option that I'm going to try in order to try to fix this whole landing issues that we have been facing. Yeah, I've never faced so many issues with landing an aircraft. Like the PMDG 737 was so easy to land, oh my god. A couple of times I went around and that's it. After that I was able to grease it every time around 100, 200, 100, 200 feet per minute. But this one, for some reason, is totally weird. And I'm pretty sure now what exactly is happening, but I'm not able to control that impulse of flaring too much at the end, just because of the way the view is. And it looks like you're descending so fast, but you're actually not if you look at the instruments. But then you have to look outside too, so it's confusing. Rahul says, can you show me your approach? I haven't really planned for it yet. I've just entered the QNH and stuff. I haven't actually planned for it. Let's just enter something here and see. 60-200, huh? And we are burning at what? 33 per minute. And we are about... It's 4 right now. And we'll be there at 428. So... No, it's not runway 25, it's runway 30. The RNAV runway 30 approach. I'm just blindly literally multiplying this. 28, 30, 980. Okay. We'll be at somewhere around 50-200, I think. That's what. Not 50-200, 50 and then 200. 50.2 tons. That's what we'll be at, I think. Let's enter that. Low should be fine. Max reversers, manual landing, flaps are full, auto throttle. I'm going to keep auto throttle on just to. And then runway 30 should be dry. I don't think there is any rains there. There's no rains. Apply. We might have to go medium auto brakes here. Okay. There's a fair bit of crosswind, by the way. I'm definitely going to mess this up because I cannot land this airplane with, specifically with crosswinds. If it was, by the way, does this give us okay? If I go to performance, our V approach right now is 134 and VLS is landing speed, right? So that's 129, if that's what you were. Rahul says runway 25 for normal ops. I remember 30 for backtrack tag. Never mind, was wrong about that. They do use the new runway. Yeah. So runway 30, I didn't choose it actually. It was just SimBrief that gave me runway 30. Okay, let's see where we are at. 6 nautical miles. At 5 we can... Wow, look at that cloud cover. Looks so good. Nice. "25 has better scenery." Man, if I can just land this thing, I don't care about scenery. If I can just get this thing down. 12 knots crosswind is a lot of crosswind. Okay, let's just put it on descent, that we are not delayed. Yes, clouds look real, no doubt. Look at that. The whole cloud on cloud shadow and then the cloud on ground shadow, that whole combination is like the perfect right now. Lovely. We're going to actually descend through that. By the way, on the video, do you see the cockpit too dark, or is it good enough? Because I don't know, for some reason on my phone when I watch the stream, the cockpit seems too dark. But that may be because I've just set the stream to low quality on my phone. Yeah, tad dark, yeah. That's what I thought. Maybe we can turn these... did they do anything? Did it even turn on? Yeah, it did. Yeah, I think what also happens is when I'm in this view, and if the outside view is very bright, the cockpit turns darker. And then when I'm actually zoomed into the cockpit itself, then you might be seeing a little bit better. Yeah. I'll have to disable eye adaptation, I think. Yeah, that's right. There's a bunch of other shit that I'll also have to disable in there. I think I disabled it long back before the sim update 11, but it has probably defaulted back to the original setting. There's film grain and stuff that was there on it. Yeah. I mean, in reality, eye adaptation looks... I mean, it's a real thing, right? So it creates that depth perception, I guess. not in the right way. No delay messages from our airline today finally, because we are flying real time. Look at that. Look at that. All this at like 80, 90, 100 FPS. Oh my. How much are we getting right now? Let me check real quick. Not that it matters, but overestimated it. It's 60 FPS, but it's locked 60. Smooth. We're also at 200 LOD, by the way, so that's looks so. I think this is the part that I was seeing on the map, wherein there was thick cloud cover. I may have mistaken the Hyderabad departure side also as covered. It wasn't actually. It was relatively clear. But Chennai is kind of all filled up. Okay, what is the restriction here? Let me zoom in a little bit. Above 090. Okay. From 9,000, we easily meet that. Need to be at 250 knots, which it will decel at this pink point. Landing, I'm not expecting a lot. A bunch of crosswind popped up. Let's turn on the seatbelt signs. Start thinking about what we need to do. By the time we reach, where's our decel point? Decel point is quite late, after MM415, which is after we are all lined up and configured. By the time we reach this point, I think we should be reasonably configured at flaps 1 and stuff. Brendan Berry is here. Hello, no more silence. Glad to hear your voice. Yes, I was almost battling whether to do a silent stream or not today because I was super tired. But I was like, then once I started talking, I just kept talking. Going through all the procedures and stuff. Good to see you here, Brandon. I've seen you multiple times on simple takeoff streams, but really good to see you here. Going to be a fun landing. Pretty sure not a good landing. I also bought so there's a, by the way, if you guys don't know, there's a discount going on all the sceneries on Contrail's web shop. So most of these US sceneries like Boston, Denver, Washington Dulles, and then San Diego, all of these are in discount for like $11 or $12, something like that. So in these past couple of days, 3 days I bought quite a bit from there. I actually bought the Denver scenery today. Like basically not eating Chipotle and trying to get a scenery per day. Because it's good, right? It's $12 and you can fly to and from it whenever you want. You have it for your life. Kind of in a way supports the developers, so win-win. But yeah, if you guys are not aware, check it out. It's probably there until this weekend due to Thanksgiving, I guess. It is asking for more drag, but I'm not giving it because I think we'll be fine. So according to restrictions, we are already in a good spot. We will be at our target altitude by this point, right? So there's no need to stress about the drag. Almost there on the clouds. Be cloud surfing? I think not, because there's a big cavity here and there's only cover in front of us. Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to do a long flight and that will be silent during the cruise because I'll probably study during the cruise. And but obviously I'll be there on the mic, so if anyone pops into chat, I'll be there. But usually it's pretty empty, so I'll probably just put it on cruise. Maybe Dubai to Mumbai or something like that, or somewhere around there. Or we can also, actually, you know what, we bought Denver today, so we'll do Denver to San Diego or San Diego to Denver. So that'll be a nice long flight, and people can like study with having the stream on. We'll keep changing the views. There should be a clean flight as well. There shouldn't be much weather going on tomorrow around San Diego and Denver. But let's see how the time setup goes and all. Because I have to work tomorrow. I mean, I can take a holiday, but I have to work tomorrow. Then I also have something to finish for Monday. That's the work that I'm planning to do during the cruise tomorrow. The stuff that I need to complete for Monday, so that I can have the full Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday free, and might do multiple streams throughout the day. Short flights, long flights, circuit flights, whatever. We'll do all of it this weekend. Stutters. Finally cloud surfing, kind of. No, not really. Let's check out the wing views real quick. I haven't checked that in a while. Nice. Oh, look at that. India is actually fun to fly during the day. North America West has become very, very clean these days. So there's not a lot going on. You can probably still fly some sunset flights so that it actually looks good. But this is like, you don't even have to try. This is amazing. Okay, let's focus on getting things going now. Once we reach 10,000, we'll do the lights and stuff. Our transition altitude here is 4,000, so we need to remember, let's real quick remember our Altimeter setting, it's 1010. Okay. We are already on this leg almost. What's our next restriction? Let's see. Need to be above 4000, above 2100, and okay, so we'll be at 2100 by 416 is what this says, which is fine because it's all plus 2100. It's not the need is not to be exactly at 2100 at 415. We are good. And now the arrow says that we'll be here sooner than. Oh, this is actually the descent arrow. So after we reach 2100, it will start descending at 2.8 degrees glide slope from here on. We are at 10,000. I'll just early prepper that I am. I know we shouldn't be doing all this here right now, but I hate panning around and trying to mess with the landing lights by the end, like when we are trying to land. Look at that, looks so good. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit so that we don't see the pixelated clouds. Save msfs of some embarrassment. Amazing. We did not need more drag at all. We are still on the green dot, almost on the green dot. We're good. See, this is what I was saying. We are almost leveled and it seems like we are diving down. This is what messes all my landings. Like, it seems like you're diving down, but you're actually not. You might even be nose up. This is something that EasyJet SimPilot was also talking about, that just because the view is set up that way, you will think that the aircraft is diving down, but it's actually not. And so you end up flaring so much that now you float like half of the runway. Yeah, I take no guarantees of this landing. How many passengers do we have? Oh, look, you have ships here, huh? Nice. Cargo ships here. Nice detail there. What was I checking, by the way? Completely forgot. Anyways. Okay. Okay, that's our blue track is basically our missed approach path. We already on approach enabled or no? Where's our decel point at? Oh, it's after 415, huh? Okay. Somewhere here. Okay. Wait, did it? What is it doing? Oh yeah, we are good. This is the active waypoint. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, once we hit, I think we should be good to go flaps 1 right now. And then when we hit the decel point, we'll go 2. 5 people on top chat. Be ready to get slammed on the ground. We're going medium auto brakes today. Might have to give it some drag now, because it's really crossing that pink lines now. Okay, we are going to see a visibility layer pop or something, I think, because we are able to see the ground from here and look at that rainbow. Just about time. Look at that. This is amazing. Right in front of us. Beautiful. Totally beautiful. Okay, approach is enabled. There still says more drag, I think. Give it that. Give more drag through the flaps as well. How about full? So it did not really calculate the VRAM that well. The vertical profile that well on this particular. Okay, almost below 1010 here, and what is it? 1010 here as well. Do we need to take this over and just land it manually? I'm a little skeptical of what it's doing right now, but let's see. How far are we? 6, right? Yeah, we can have the landing gear down, go flaps full. Once we have 3 greens, we'll turn the speed brakes off and have the spoilers armed. And we can go flaps 3, flaps full right away. We are at 2100, so we did hit that restriction just fine, which is great. I was a little worried about that part, not hitting that restriction. Scares the shit out of me, this whole. Okay, our missed approach altitude is going to be 2300, so I'm going to set that to 2300. Actually, not right now. Might have to do a missed approach. Just fly manually. We should have done the approach nav. I waited for it too long. Now it's time to catch up with that pink rectangle there. Lot of crosswind.
2000.
Lots of crosswind. Still cannot see the runway. Look, we are still leveled, but it looks like I'm diving down. If you actually look at the attitude indicator, we are still leveled. Pretty weird. That's what confuses me throughout the landing. Okay, now we are at a decent spot. Still cannot see the runway really. We are going.
1000.
Still no runway. Come on, at least show me the lights. There we go. They're kind of offset. Yeah, I did not promise you this landing at all, so what I should have done is enabled approach mode before we hit 2100. That would have kind of put us on a nice descent path onto this RNAV arrival.
100 above. 400.
Sync rate. Sync rate.
Yep, I know sync rate.
200.
17 knots. Crosswind.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard.
On the reversers, 80 knots, 60 knots, come out, turn the auto brakes off, clean the flaps up real quick. Not a bad landing, right? For all the mess up that happened. For how skewed we were out of the runway because of the whole crosswind situation, and couldn't really situationally see the runway until I saw the PAPI lights at the end, and then we turned on course and landed. Let's see what kind of landing rate it was on Volanta once we get out of here. Not a bad landing, I would say. I'm not going to waste your time. Boring taxi. Just park it and let's review this thing on Volanta. Glad I started it. Okay, let's see where we landed first of all. Exactly on the 1,000 footers, so not bad at all on that. And oh my god, guys, I don't even know who's watching, but I'm proud of this landing. Minus 82 FPM and at 124 knots, which was exactly our landing speed. So all those circuits yesterday has definitely helped, at least given some idea of when to flare and how much to flare. This is beautiful. I'm proud of this one. We did veer off a little bit, but then again that was just crosswind, couldn't do much. And I'm using the twist action in this thing, right, joystick, so couldn't really do much. But there we go, minus 82 FPM. Let's also check it out on the stream itself. On the stream is what I was saying. To see how it looked. So 2100. So this is where I made a mistake here, because I forgot that we were flying the RNAV approach. Either I would just disable the autopilot, or I would turn the approach mode on so that it arms the approach nav, and then it arms final. It did. It did. But then we were too late in doing that. So then I had to just take over manually because it was never going to make it, right? So okay, we did that. And then what happened? Let's see. So we were at 11,000 feet here. Let's skip to the point where we actually saw the runway. So here, up until this point, I'm thinking that okay, I'm crabbing towards the right, but I'm actually going in the direction of the runway. So I might see the runway shortly. But I did not imagine that the runway will be so skewed from what I was actually looking at on the ND. Again, this is a... So let's see where we actually saw... did I see the... there you go. I saw the lights there. So I realized that, oh, I'm kind of skewed and also high. But I did have enough room to dive down and catch up on the glide slope. Right? So... and let's see what happened after that. Make it full screen. 1440p actually looks great, huh? On stream. Never checked out my own videos. We are already at idle, and that's because, I mean, we were diving down, right? So that makes sense. Now we are giving some thrust because I tried to level it off. So there, exactly on the glide slope again, back on track. And then after that I was just targeting that number basically, and once it said 30 I started flaring a little bit just so that the V speed reduces, not too much, and then just let it go, idled it and let it go. So I need to remember we need to flare at 30 feet, idle it between 20 and 10 depending on how much energy the aircraft has while it's descending. Perfect. This is amazing. I need to keep the landing rate monitor on so that you guys can also see what landing rate we did right away as soon as we land. But anyways, minus 82 FPM, I'll take it for crosswind landing. This is great. There's a little bit of a skew towards the left, but again we were having a lot of crosswind from the right, so that's understandable. Touchdown zone was also great, and yeah, okay, that is it for today. I'll probably we'll either do some circuits. I want to fly something else as well, but I want to still do a couple of more really good landings with Phoenix so that I can master it. Different ones, sometimes ILS, sometimes RNAV, sometimes visual. So we still need to do 2 or 3 flights with Phoenix, and then we'll go back to the PMDG 737 and check if it's still proficient on that, because I used to do really well on the 737, but we'll see how that goes. Anyways, I won't bore you with all the parking and stuff. Thank you all for joining, whoever joined in. I think we have 5 people right now. Thank you all. Have a good day, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.